this lesson, we explore the real implications of many-to-many relationships in Power BI data model. You'll learn why comparing two fact tables requires a common level of granularity, what happens when you go below that level, why flattening or merging transaction tables creates incorrect results, and how to correctly analyze sales versus inventory data without duplicating values. Let's dive in. Okay, let's have a look at some of the implications. Remember the warning that you are about to create a many-to-many relationship. Make sure you understand the implication. So what should you take care of? Now, when comparing two facts, which in this case we are comparing two facts, which is sales quantity and inventory quantity. You cannot go below lowest common granularity. All it means is I have country and country. I cannot go down to city level because city level information does not exist in my inventory table. That information is not available. So if I go down, it will give you something very strange. Let's see what that looks like. If I remove this country slicer, if I include city just in the table, just create a table and drop your product code, city, products, sales quantity, and you don't even see any problem until you look at it more closely. When I will, if I will look at all the cities within Australia, where is it? Canberra, right? Do you see the problem now? Because the city level information does not exist for the inventory table, it is returning country level information for you. And when you start to write DAX, you can control for these kind of things by returning blank and whatnot. But until then, just take care that when you're comparing two facts, you have a common grain, you have a lowest common grain, which in this case is country. So you should not go below it. And this is what will happen. That's what you have to take care of. But at the same time, if you remove city from here, so coming back to the question asked by Nick, if I have something like this, I don't have inventory quantity, but I do have sales quantity. I can just copy and paste this table, correct? I could remove inventory quantity and I can just drop city. This is correct. Now you actually have the sales quantity for this product. If you want, you can also put another slicer for the product name. You can put another slicer for the product name and you can select, right? This will give you, right? That's your total sales quantity and that's how it divides at the city level. But I cannot put inventory quantity column in that table because if I do, it becomes strange, right? You can actually see the problem here. It becomes more visible to you.
Ali, if so I guess obviously we're sort of designing the model for the report designers. Um,
Yeah.
in this case, would you not, because obviously this, we understand the data because we're obviously building the model, but if it was for the report designers, wouldn't we create a country table and so that they, I guess, so that they can't ever choose city? I guess that's really the point. So they
Mm,
can't actually
mm,
choose city.
yeah. The right solution is to actually use a DAX. You can, in a DAX, you can say if you're picking an inventory column and you actually see a city, just convert that to a blank. That's a better solution rather than creating more tables in the data model because eventually you arrive at a point where you have too many unnecessary tables which takes the space. So that is the better solution. And hopefully when you come for the DAX, we can speak more about how do you solve it. Um, but for now, I think it's more about you being aware of this is the implication of it. And your report authors are not the users which has those are your skilled users. And when you share your data model with them, you will have to explain these kind of nuances to them. You have to do some kind of a training. They don't need like 10 days of training like you who are working quite a lot with the data model, but you will have to explain like this is the basics and that's how you kind of work with it. Another thing that you can do is this. Click on the table view. I will click on city. Oh, in the, sorry, data modeling view. I click on the city and I just enter some description for the report authors, right? um, right? Do not use city column when uh, slicing the inventory quantity, right? Or something like that. Because when you write the description, it also becomes part of the tooltip because even if you explain it to them, they might forget. Like just some context on what is really going on inside the data model. So, some descriptors, some information icon, along with some training to them, that will still kind of save you, quite a lot of time. Over time, they will just understand what to pick and what not to pick. Okay, so once you have something like this and you're happy, then you can, start to convert this into some form of visual. Control C, Control V, because when you convert this to a visual, I can remove product code and here you go, right? Now you can see it starts to become more obvious where the big discrepancies are, where there is a significant difference between how much are we selling versus how much we are holding in inventory. And if we do not act quickly, we have a problem, right? You have your product, right? And then you can convert it into, so this is total sales quantity. If I just want to narrow down my sales quantity for last 3 months, I can put in another slicer, which can come from my calendar. I change it to a slicer and I can just select the last quarter of 2017, right? So this gives me sales quantity, sales quantity for last 3 months compared with stock on hand or inventory quantity. So if you don't know what I've done, I've created this column chart. I have my product in the x-axis, and then I have my sales quantity and inventory quantity inside the y-axis. And additionally, I have included a slicer on the date, which is coming from, and I've just selected Q4 of 2017. So my numbers look close, otherwise my sales quantity was too high. And I've also selected Germany.
Quick one on the in for the slicer for the date. If we don't select the date, I think if we just choose the date option, we can just use the scroll option.
Oh yeah, with date, people are often confused because of that reason. See this date slicer? Your date, your date can actually have two forms. Your date can be a categorical value, or your date can be a date value, which is more like numerical. And you can switch between by clicking on this little arrow here. I can switch between a date. When you use this option, it gives you a slider, right? Your scroll bar,
Yeah.
scroller. But when you select a date hierarchy, it gives you more like hierarchical. So if I change it here, it gives you this. But if you want to change it, you can go inside format and you can change between, right? It gives you a slider. By default, it gives you a slider. So you can switch between a slider and the date hierarchy. Okay. So Usman, coming back to your question. Okay.
Yeah.
If I connect this product code with this product code, right? First
Yeah.
problem is the disconnect, right? This is a very ideal data set. It is very much possible that you have a missing product code. Does this point make sense? Missing product code in the sales table. You might have that product code in the inventory. You're holding the stock, but you have never sold it. Possible?
Yes.
Correct? And on the flip side, you might not have an inventory for a product. You might have discontinued a product, but that product was sold, let's say, a year ago.
Mhm.
Correct? That's one problem. What is another problem? Because if you decide to connect these to product code, which also means that if you want to slice and dice your data by product category or product subcategory or product color or product model, you also want to bring all this information again here and here. Does this make sense? You have to kind of start to repeat the same
Mm.
columns inside all the fact tables for your ability to slice and dice. And even that will be incorrect because you have missing information. Do you see the problem? And that's why you start to just create the duplicated columns in multiple data set. And then next time when you will have a PO table or invoice table, which will also have product code, you are again going to put all the columns inside that table to make the connection between the fact table. Let me ask you one more question. If you were doing this in Excel, right, can I create a VLOOKUP and bring this inventory quantity back inside the sales table. You know, there was a point that I made yesterday. Let me see if I wrote it down somewhere or not. Uh,
We look and work with some errors, like the points which you just shared. Those would be coming up errors. Items
okay.
which were sold a year ago discontinued in the other.
This is the point that I made. Okay. You cannot flatten two transaction tables. You cannot flatten, you cannot merge, or you cannot flatten two transaction tables. In this example, let's say I have a sales table and I have an inventory table. If I was in my Excel universe and I want to do an analysis like comparing inventory quantity and sales quantity together, I would try to make it flat and it will cause some problems. What is that? Let's see. If I go back inside transform data, you don't have to repeat the step. This is only me trying to explain what will become a problem. If I go inside the sales table and I do a merge and I merge it with the inventory table, I say product code, I click OK, expand, and I say, okay, let me actually bring inventory quantity inside the sales table. Now, what is going on? If you see inside column distribution, see your sales ID is not unique anymore because for every single product code, I have multiple countries and it brings all the countries back. So you cannot make it flat like that. What would happen in Excel? What would happen in Excel would be something like this. Let me see if I have, so I have my sales table, correct? And then let's say if I have my inventory table, let's do a VLOOKUP. I have this inventory table. This is inventory and this is sale, right? I do equals to VLOOKUP, product code, comma, product code and quantity, comma 3, 0. That's my inventory quantity. Now for every single product, this inventory quantity will repeat. You know how VLOOKUP works, right? If you have duplicated
Yeah.
values, it just picks the first value and brings it back.
Yeah.
When you have two different fact tables where you have a many-to-many kind of a scenario, you can't do a quick VLOOKUP because it will start to repeat. And when I will aggregate inventory quantity in the report, it will aggregate and it will duplicate. So I hope the point that I made, you cannot flatten two transaction tables because it causes duplication and it will make your calculations incorrect. Because if I will aggregate the inventory quantity in the report, it will just add because it has started to repeat now. Okay, so I think I will actually give you a break. After the break, we are going to do a very similar exercise with the budget. It's not a budget, it's actually a target table, but you can use the same concept for your target table or your budget table, vice versa.